hello. I don't know how long my internet is going to last. So prayerfully, you guys will hop on in here. We can have this conversation and then I can hop on off here because y'all don't understand what I just tried to do the last few minutes to come live. So yes, I don't know. My internet has slowed all the way down. So I need my prayer warriors on here to pray us through that this live is going to go ahead and be able to, we're going to be able to go ahead and do this live today. So prayer warriors, I need y'all to go ahead and stretch your out. We are not doing this right here today. Not this conversation I want to have with you guys today. So you guys come on in, welcome. I do apologize for the delay. Like I said, such a huge struggle today, so I do apologize for being late. So I see you, Ashley. I see you, Rakita. You guys, thank you so much. Like I said, prayerfully, this internet will stay up this morning, but it is giving me the indicator that it has that my internet that is unstable. So let me try to turn off my camera and see if that will make any difference. Yeah. It will. And I'm gonna have to do this. I may have to do this later. Good morning, Amanda. But like I said, I do want to have this conversation with you guys today, and so I'm going to talk for the next few minutes. If it does not clear up, then I'm going to end this live. There we go. Okay, so it's giving me the indicator that I'm okay. So y'all may not be able to see my amazing face today, so I put my beautiful picture up instead. But you guys, I'll talk for a few minutes. If it does not clear up, then I'll just have to go live later on today. But I do want to have this conversation with you guys. And initially, I was going to only do it in my Facebook group. And then I was like, okay, I'll do it on my personal page. And I'm like, no, I want to have this conversation across my platforms. So let me go ahead and dive on in while it is a little bit clearer. My name is Beverly Walthour. I am a business strategist specifically for established Christian female coaches who desire to accelerate their income and their impact without compromising their Christian values. So perfect. So hopefully those that were on, if they did hop off, they'll come back on. And like I said, I do apologize for almost a 10-minute delay in getting started. But once again, as you guys can see, I was having some tech issues over on my end. So like I said, prayerfully, this will allow for us just to continue going. And so I want to have this conversation based on just a couple of reminders that I put inside my Facebook group today, because sometimes I feel like we need those things, because for some of us, we have not been trained in sales. And because for most of you guys, you're doing your own appointment setting and you're doing your own sales calls, you have to have a different perspective when it comes to sales. And I always tell my clients, sales is a service. I am serving someone when I am talking to them about my services. Some of us, we have to shift our mindset when it comes to the word sales, because those of you that feels, spammy, scammy, sleazy, what are some of those other words that we use when we're talking about sales? I see you, Wanda. Hey. So what are some of those other words that we use when we're talking about sales? And so my thing is, we have to be really careful about the thoughts that we have and the words that we choose, especially in this particular season, because first, period, we know our words have power. Once again, literally, God created this entire earth, this entire world through his words. So we know that there's power in our words. And so we have to be really careful about what it is that we're saying that we like and what we don't like, especially on what we hate and what we don't hate. Because I know, love what God loves and hate what God hates. And I never saw it anywhere in scripture where God says that he hated sales. You see what I'm saying? That he hated the social media. So we have to be really careful about our words. And so in my Facebook group, I shared a couple of statistics that I really want to do a deeper dive into. When it comes to what it is that we do, as coaches, because of course I work specifically with coaches. So I'm applying this specifically to coaches, but this right here, this information that we're going to talk about, this applies to whatever you do, whatever type of entrepreneur you are, it applies to that. So once again, it doesn't matter what type of business you have. But because I work with coaches, that's why I specifically tailor my information to coaches. And so we're going to go ahead and talk about all of this has to do with sales, period. And so once again, this is for those of you that, like I said, you have this issue when it comes to sales. You have these limiting beliefs when it comes to sales. And like I said, you guys, sales is serving. You want to keep that in the forefront of your mind. So when it comes to you talking to people about your services, you want to have that mindset of how can I serve someone today through my services? That's how you want to look at that when it comes to your services, when it comes to sales. You want to keep that in the forefront of your mind. And so the first thing, did you know that it can literally take up to, and once again, every time I use this stat, I always use the phrase up to. You guys, it can literally take someone up to 15 touch points before they ever invest with you. Did you know that? Did you know that it can take up to 15 touch points before someone invests with you? And like I said, I use that phrase up to because some people, it may just be one touch point and boom, they're ready to buy from you. But remember, I'm always talking to you guys about 4 types of people that's in your current audience right now. There are 4 types of people who are in your current audience right now. Those people that have an issue, that they don't see it as an issue and they're not trying to solve it. They have an issue, but they don't see it as an issue and they're not trying to solve it. There are people that realize they do have the issue, but they're not trying to solve it. So once again, you realize and recognize that it's a problem. It's an issue. It's a challenge. It's toxic, whichever one of those words it is. And so they realize, they don't even realize that it is an issue and they're not trying to fix it. Those that do realize that it's an issue, but they're not trying to fix it. Too many of us are focused on these first 2 groups of people. And I keep saying we have to stop. You have to stop it. Those are not the people that God has called you to serve, period. Those are not it. And once again, I get it with our hearts as Christian female coaches. Once again, I feel like sometimes we twist and we confuse the Great Commission and serving people in the Great Commission with our business. Once again, we were called to take the good news out to the ends of the earth. And even with that call, God knew we weren't going to be able to take the good news out to all 7 billion people on this earth, not me individually. And so we were called to be able to do this as the body of Christ. But some of you guys have taken that thought process and now you're trying to apply it to your business and you're frustrated. But my thing is we have to stop trying to force people and get people to believe and think and know that they need coaching, that they need coaching. There are some people where no, this is not it for them, and that's fine. Instead, let's shift our focus to the other 2 groups because these statistics apply to these other 2 groups that we're going to talk about. This part right here, Nicole. So many of you guys are casting your pearls among the swine, and you're wondering why. You're frustrated, annoyed, angry, upset. You're crying out and yelling out to God, asking him what's going on. And he keeps saying, daughter, I did not call you to those people. Just like you guys think about it, even when it comes to us as believers and us having conversations with people about our God and about what Jesus did for us, not everyone is going to accept that. Not everyone is going to accept the call and accept that call to salvation. And so once again, we have to keep that in mind. And so what we want to think about are those people that the other 2 audience. So once again, there are people in our audience who realize they have a problem. They are actively seeking the solution. Now, they may not know that you have the solution. So once again, they are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they're looking for something different. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they're looking for something different. So once again, those of you that hopped on, the reason why my camera is not on is because I was having some tech issues. I was 10 minutes late to this live, so that's why my camera is not showing. So I said, let me turn off my camera because it may help to be able to keep my internet up and going, okay? And so you guys, like I said, there are people out there that are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they're looking for something different. And they may not know specifically that Nicole has the answer when it comes to their ministry, or they may not realize that Rakita has the answer when it comes to them being a more powerful speaker. But once again, they are looking for a change. And then that other group are those people that are like, you know what? This this ain't it. This ain't it. I don't want this. And I want Nicole to help me get up on that stage and stand powerfully up on that stage. I want Amanda to help me when it comes to really and truly walking in my identity, when it comes to who it is and how it is that God has called me to live on this earth. Our thing is we need to shift our focus to those latter two groups. And so these statistics that we're going to talk about is for these people in these latter groups. And so this is the thing. So with this stat that I have up here, it says it can take up to 15 touch points before someone invests with you. And once again, I use that phrase up to because it's around 7 to 8. It could be around 7 to 8 times. But once again, you're going to have some people who you will do a live. They will watch you on that live and they're like, okay, Nicole, look, this right here, the way this ministry is set up, if we don't get connected with Nicole, there's going to be some shaking of some tables right now. We're going to be shaking some tables right now. And so they're literally, when Nicole gives that call to action and say, hey, for those of you that are ready to streamline your process when it comes to your ministry, let's go ahead and schedule a call. And so they may check out Nicole's social media pages. They may check out Nicole's website. And then they're going to do what? They're going to go ahead and they're going to schedule that call. But for other people, once again, it can legit take up to 15 touch points before they're like, okay, this person, they're legit. Their testimonials line up with what it is that they say. They're consistent whenever I either read their content or watch them because people are watching you. She appears to be consistent. So now let me go over here and schedule this call or click on the link to purchase this class or whatever it is that she has going on. So you guys think about it. If it can take someone up to 15 touch points and you give up after the first live because you didn't have anyone on their live, or you give up after you send the second email to your list because no one responded, what about all the other people that needed that additional time? And that's the part where I think for some of you guys, you're falling down. You're allowing, I said this before, you're allowing your ego to get in the way. Well, they didn't respond, so I'm not going to do this. Well, oh my goodness, that means they don't want to know. Think about it, you guys. Some of you guys, you are asking people to invest $3,000, $5,000, $30,000 to work with you. Do you realize what it is that you're asking people to invest? And you're upset because they did not invest after the one live that you did 2 weeks ago? You guys, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. So like I said, we have to shift our mindset when it comes to you showing up consistently. Now, once again, does that you showing up consistently means you have to be on social media all day, every day? No. No. That's not what that means. This part right here, Nicole, because you guys think about it. If you're in a relationship and you're quote unquote in the dating phase of that relationship and that person calls you once every 2 weeks, are you going to take that person seriously? If they text you once a month, you guys, this is a relationship. You're building relationships with people. And so once again, you want to keep that in mind. So now let's talk about what can touch points look like. So when we say it can take up to 15 touch points, you guys, there are various ways that you can have touch points with people. One of the biggest ways, especially for us online, is through your content. That's one way. So once again, are you consistently putting out quality content? When I talk about quality content, and once again, I'm talking to my Christian female coaches here, that quality content that I'm referring to is not just scripture and motivational posts. It's not just scripture and motivational posts. That motivational post is not going to be the thing that gets me to invest that $5,000 in working with you. For some of you guys, you're upset and frustrated, but look, when I look at your content, all I see are scriptures, motivational posts, and then you sharing other people's content. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, so what exactly am I investing in? What exactly am I investing in? Because what I see here, I don't see a $5,000 investment here. So the one thing you want to do inventory. So I always have my clients do an audit of their social media content. And that audit starts with your banner. I literally, when I have my clients update their banners, I remember one client on a Thursday, she updated her banner. And this is on Facebook. She updated on a Thursday. By Monday, she already had 3 sales calls booked just based on what she updated on her banner. Because I always say your banner is like your business card. It's like that sign that you turn on if you had a brick and mortar, that sign where you turn on to let people know that you're open. So those social media platforms that have a banner, Facebook, LinkedIn, if you're over there on Twitter, what does your banner say about you right now? If you were to look at your banner, does it let people know that you're open for business? And then there's a little trick that I show my clients when it comes to their banner, certain words that they want to actually put on the banner, because there's some hidden meaning behind that thing. What about your bio? When people read your bio, do they know, can they tell who you are through your bio? So either that bio or that about section. So once again, every platform now has either a place for you to put your bio or for you to put your about section. What does your bio or your about section if your ideal client was to read your bio right now, what would it say to him or her? Whether or not it's the actual, because I know some of you guys, you do consulting and you work with businesses, but the building is not reading your content. It is an actual person who is reading and looking at your content. What is that person seeing when they're looking at your bio or reading your about section? So once again, welcome to those of you that are popping on. Once again, I do apologize. I was about 10 minutes late because I had an issue with my internet. So that's why my video is not on. That's why I have my lovely, one of my branded photos up. So I do apologize for those of you like, where's Bev? I was having some internet issues. So I turned my camera off and this appeared to have fixed the issue. So it's not pulling as much as my bandwidth. So we'll roll with this right here. Okay. And so you guys, once again, we're just having a conversation right now about this statistic that's scrolling underneath my picture right here. So once again, check out your bio. Now, once again, most of these platforms, there is a limit on what you can put in your bio. So that means for some of you guys, you have to be concise. The profile picture that you have, those platforms that allow for you to have a profile picture. What does your profile picture say about you? I encourage my clients that picture on your banner or the picture in your bio, try to make it as professional as possible. If possible, I tell them, try to have it as something with you in action. So whether or not it's you speaking, whether or not it's you holding your book, whether or not it's you if you've done a live event, something like that. Try to have it where it's actually you in action, if it's possible. But some of you guys, I go to your page and literally my eyes start tearing up because the picture is blurry. I'm like, what is this? What are we doing? I can't even, what is this? Your blurry pictures are causing people's eyes to literally blur. That's not a good look for your business or your brand. So those are small things that you can do as people are, once again, searching around, because remember what I said, you're asking them to invest $15,000. People are going to be nosy. They're going to search around. What are they going to see when they land on, we're starting off with your social media pages? Do they see content that speaks to what it is that you do as a coach or a consultant? When they're looking at your content, do they see the solution or see you as the solution to their challenges, to their struggles, to their issues, to the pain that they're experiencing? Do they see you as that solution? So once again, some of those touch points is through your content. You want to have a variety of content. Yes, you have your written posts. Even with your written posts, vary the length of your written posts. Some of you guys, you always have books upon books upon books upon books of content. Ain't nobody reading all that. Not all the time, period. You have to understand the psychology, especially when it comes to social media. People are going to glance first. And then they'll go back. So people will skim first, they'll glance first, and they'll go back and skim, and then they'll go back and read. So if all of your posts are always like a big, long 1,000 word blog post, everyone, they're not reading all of that all the time. I'm telling you that now. Another thing, some of you guys, when you post your content, there is no white space in there at all. So it's one big blob of data. No one's reading all of that. Put some white space in there, please, for the love of everything good. Because you want it to be easy for people to skim and scan first. Once again, this is helping with your touch points when people are looking at and engaging with your content. So like I said, have a variety, even with your written posts. Vary it up. You'll have some longer posts, some of them that are medium in length, and then some of them that are shorter. And what I try to do is specifically on Facebook, for my shorter posts, I try to keep them where it has that colorful background. I know sometimes it allows for you to extend it out, but I try to keep it where it has that colorful background so it doesn't have the word "see more" on there. But that's, for me, I have to be very intentional because I can be long-winded if I want to. And so that's in me taking into consideration the people who are consuming my content. So I'm taking them into consideration. So vary the length of your written post. Also, do not be afraid of live video. Once again, you're asking someone to invest $7,500, but you won't do a live video? What is that about? What is that about? Well, Bam, can I record the video and upload it? Yeah, you can have that, but you notice I said live. The social media platforms will push out more of your live videos versus videos that you pre-recorded and uploaded to the platform. Now, once again, is every single video that you put out there have to be live? No, just hear what I just said. You can have some of those that where you pre-recorded and uploaded, but once again, these platforms are pushing the live video. What is it that's keeping you from going live? You need to get to the root of that. What is it that's keeping you from going live? Especially if the Holy Spirit has told you to click that live button. Short form video right now is huge. Short form video. There, what are you talking about? Reels. Or if you're over there on TikTok, YouTube Shorts. That's what I'm referring to. So those videos, and some of them is a minute long, 3 minutes long. That's what I mean by short form video. But if you don't understand, I ain't gonna be able to get it all out of it. That's a you issue. That is a you issue. That means you talk too much. And it makes me wonder when you're on coaching calls with your clients, if you're the ones doing most of the talking. Has me wondering. With short form video, it is not designed for you to get out everything you know in that 1 minute. Leverage the other features. Leverage the ability to put words on the screen. Leverage the caption feature. Leverage the fact that you can create a series of videos that goes along with that topic. You don't have to put everything you know in that one topic. Only a little bit, Wanda, only a little bit. And Wanda, is touch them faster and touch them in various ways. Touch them faster and touch them in various ways. And Wanda, it's so weird because it didn't even put up that comment. I went on Facebook and saw the comment inside the group. But yeah, where it says, so touch them faster is what I'm hearing. So like I said, it's touch them faster and it's touch them in various ways. And that's the thing. We have to know and understand how our audience consumes information. Even with those, with the short form videos, turn on the closed caption. With a lot of your live streams, a lot of them now automatically generate the closed caption. Why is that? Because a lot of people, they don't have the volume turned on when they are listening or watching videos. They don't have the volume turned on. Because more than likely they're doing something else. We ain't gonna talk about the fact they probably at work. We're not gonna put them on blast like that. But think about it. Sometimes you are in a space where you may not be able to have the volume on, but you're still looking at the video. That's why they have that closed caption. So if it doesn't automatically turn on your closed caption, turn on your closed caption, especially for those reels and YouTube and all that stuff like that. You have to actually go in and turn on the closed caption. Turn it on. Turn it on. But that's another touch point. Another touch point, your call to action. What is your call to action? What is it that you're asking them to do in that post or in that video? Look here, see, I wasn't gonna call nobody out, y'all. I wasn't calling nobody out, but I love when y'all call yourselves out. Nicole's like, look like me right now. I'm on this team call, but I'm sitting here reading these captions. Look, you guys, but think about, we do this all the time, though. We do it all the time. So once again, turn on those closed captions. What is your call to action? You guys, if you are, so whether or not it's a written post, whether or not it's a reel that you're doing, whether or not it's a live, you want to have calls to action. Even when you do lives, invite people to actually join in on the conversation. One of the reasons why I love StreamYard is because of this feature right here. I love StreamYard because of the ability to pop people's comments up on the screen. It just does something to you when you see your comment. You're like, oh my God, you call your mom, be like, Mama, I made it. Mama, I made it. Mama, I made it. Look here, Mama, I'm on this screen. I made it. But it helps to keep people engaged. So what are some of those things that you're doing to keep people engaged with your content? That content should be like a conversation. Even when you're doing your lives and stuff like that. Like I said, I love, even when I give examples, to call people's names out. It's just something about hearing your name and being acknowledged. Well, Bear, that's a lot to do, Bear. It's a skill. It's a skill. But start somewhere. Start somewhere. Start somewhere. So once again, those are touch points through your content. Another way to have touch points with your people is through leveraging Messenger. Bam, you on high, bam, I don't like people that, all that stuff we like to holler and scream about when it comes to Messenger. But my question is, if you have an issue with Messenger, we need to get to the root of that, because there's a root to that thing. Well, Bev, I just hate when people cold message me. Bev, I just hate when somebody sends me a friend request. The time they send me a friend request, they're asking me to buy something, or they're asking me to join my group or join their group. Okay, then don't do that. Don't do that. But you want to look at, how can I leverage Messenger as a way to continue to build the relationship, as a way to continue to connect with people? How can I leverage that feature? Because every platform has it, and they have it for a reason. So how can I leverage that feature? And so one way, and like I said, I give my clients all these different ways of how they can leverage their leverage Messenger. And once again, it's not them sending people a friend request and then the next question is, hey, let's go ahead and schedule a call. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. But you guys are connected with people right now. You've been connected with people for a minute, and they're not kinfolk, so they're not family, they're not friends, they're not co-workers. So why are they connected with you? Why are they connected with you? Is it that they're trying to sell you a service, or are they interested in the services that you have? Which one is it? Because that's my thing. I want to figure out which one it is. If you're not family, if you're not a friend, an old co-worker, somebody I went to high school with, and we're connected, you're sending me friend requests and we're connected, I want to know why. So I can leverage Messenger for that purpose. Those of you that have a Facebook group, how are you leveraging Messenger to connect with those people who are inside your Facebook group? How can you use those questions that they answer to get into your group as a way to start building that relationship with them? That's another touch point. So that was just social media that I mentioned. Another touch point is your email list. How are you leveraging your email list? One thing that I noticed, and one thing that I share with my clients too, I did a whole masterclass, I did a whole 5-day challenge on there's money in your email list. And so one of the things is looking at your reports. So when you send out that email, do you have a call to action in there? So whether or not that call to action is for them to reply back with something, or whether or not there's a link in there, do you pay attention to the people who click on the links? Do you look at your data for the people who open your emails? Do you know your most engaged email responders? Do you know those ones who are dormant? Or are you just sending out your weekly newsletter, which nobody wants, by the way, but are you just sending out your weekly newsletter and not bothering to pay attention to the data that your email platform allows for you to gather, and then use that information? Because one thing that I noticed when I go through and I look at the people who invest with me, those are the people, when I go through and I look at my open rates for my emails, they're opening up my emails. They may not open up all emails, but they're opening up my emails. They're opening up multiple emails, because once again, that's another touch point. So I know that they're connecting with my emails. They're in my Facebook group, or they're connected with me on social media in some capacity. Because once again, I know it can take up to 15 touch points before they invest with me. I love it. I love it. I love it. Wanda, she was one of the people who did my email challenge that I did, the 5-day email challenge that I did. Wanda said that was a business-changing challenge for me. Wanda had me opening up her emails. I'm like, oh my God, look at this. Well, Wanda is a powerful storyteller. So you want to ask yourself, what are the various ways that you're connecting with potential clients? We just talked about 3: social media, messenger, and email. Those are not the only ones, but those are 3 that we just talked about. And even with those 3, there are multiple ways of you doing that. So that's my question. Once again, are you using those multiple touch points? Are you using those multiple touch points? And then the second part to this conversation, do you know that 80% of your sales, 80% of sales require 5 follow-ups before you actually close that sale? So if you couple what we just talked about as far as your content, messenger, email, and then follow-ups. Ben, what do you mean when you say follow up? This is the part. There are people that have follow-up Fridays. No, ma'am, I do follow-up every day. There's no such thing to me as follow-up Fridays. Why am I going to wait till one day of the week to follow up? Especially when this statistic tells me, this statistics, as a matter of fact, only about 2% of people actually buy after the first interaction with you. Only about 2%. Because remember, I told you guys, there's 4 people that are your current audience. Out of those 4 groups, 80%, those first 2 that I mentioned, those that don't even realize they have a problem, they're not trying to solve it. Those that do realize they have a problem, but they're not trying to solve it, that's 80% of your audience. Shift your focus to the 20. Another 80-20 rule. Those of us that watch Why Did I Get Married? That's probably what a lot of us heard, that first 80-20 rule. But shift to the 20%. Of your 20%, about 15 to 17% of the people, there are the ones that realize they have a problem. They're actively seeking the solution. Now, they may not know that Wanda has the solution, but they're actively seeking the solution. That's about 15 to 17% of your audience. And then the last 3 to 5% are those people that are like, Wanda, I need your help with this. So remember when I gave that stat where I said about 2%, so that's about 3 to 5, so about 2%. So I like to use about 3. About 3%, they're ready to buy from you now. So like I said, it may just take that one follow-up or that one email or that one live that you do, and they have their card out ready to go. Like, ma'am, Wanda, what do I need to do next? Nicole, this ministry needs you. What do I need to do next? Oh, it's only $1,500. Girl, I thought you had already got a hold of Bev and you already tripped. Girl, let's go ahead and do this thing for $1,500. But you guys, that's not the majority of the people in your audience. And so how do I shift that 15 to 17% of what we just talked about in that last bullet? Showing up consistently. And then the follow-up as well. Well, Ben, what does follow up look like? What does follow up look like? As a matter of fact, one of the young ladies in my Facebook group, she was like, she's closed over $80,000 in sales by following up with people. For some of you guys, do you realize the tens of thousands of dollars that you're leaving on the table? Because once again, you got in your feelings because you felt like they rejected you. Remember, they're not saying no to you. And you guys, those of you that are battling with the spirit of rejection, it is spilling over into your business. That's why you're afraid to show your face on camera. Babe, how you talk about that? Your face is not showing. Once again, I already said I'm having an issue with my internet. That's the only reason why my face is not showing. But once again, that's why you struggle with going live. That's why you struggle with leveraging Messenger. That's why you struggle with follow-up, because it's that spirit of rejection. Let's be real with it. They're not rejecting you. And that spirit of rejection goes all the way back to, for most of you guys, your childhood. And so we need to partner with the Holy Spirit on that and ask the Holy Spirit to help us get to the root of that, dig that root out so we can get rid of that, because it's impacting the number of people that you could be serving. And when you're following up with people, this is not you begging and pleading. I'm talking about most of you guys are trying to beg and plead and convince people that they need to work with you. That is different from following up with people, because remember, with follow-up, those are the people that realize that they have a problem. So they've expressed an interest in what it is that you have. So those are not the people that don't believe in coaching. I'm not talking about those people. Is that Davana? Hey, Davana, I didn't realize you were on here, ma'am. But you guys, I'm telling you, that spirit of rejection will keep you where you are. But I need you guys to understand this. They're not saying no to you. They may be saying no to the offer. Also, keep in mind, you guys think about, and I don't know if it's because I'm in my mid-40s. I don't know if it's this, but think about the number of times you set off to do something and completely forgot what you were supposed to do, and you turned around and went the other direction and started doing something else. Just let me know in the chat, y'all, because this is something where I don't want to feel like I'm in this thing by myself. So just let me know in the chat. Am I the only one? Anyone else had that experience where you go to do something, completely forget what you were come to do, and you turn around and go do something else? Is this just me? Let me know in the chat. Thank you, Amanda. Even if it's just me and Amanda, even if it's just me and Amanda, I'm going to roll with that because I'm in good company. You guys, think about the number of times that you went to do something and it completely slipped your mind. You forgot. The child yelled out. The husband called your name. The phone rung. Think about those things that got you off track. That's why follow-up is important. That's why follow-up is important. That's why I'm always saying, those of you that have done my programs, you'll always hear me say, life is going to happen. Life is going to happen. And so that follow-up is not about begging and pleading with people. It's that reminder. There are some people I'm like, thank you. Thank you so much for following back up with me. Thank you so much for following. It's not that I forget, it's not that it's not intentional. It's really not intentional. If you have a lot going on, I'm telling you, it will slip your mind with the quickness. And so that's the power in follow-up. And so whether or not, and this is what I love when it comes to follow-up, because sometimes people are like, Deb, I don't know who to follow up with. I literally had a client that followed up with someone from 2 years ago. They did a sales call with them 2 years ago. And they ended up investing with them when they did that follow-up. It was 2 years. That lead was 2 years old. But they followed up anyway. And you guys, follow-up can look so different. So I love to work with my clients and giving them different ways of how they can follow up with people. One powerful way, even with social media, this is going to be a way that most of you guys probably not even thinking about, with social media. Following up with people who engage with your content. Do you follow up with them? So people will ask, well, Bev, do you follow up with people who just like or love, your content? I don't usually follow up with those people. Or if I do, let me rephrase that. I do follow up with those people, but not in the way that most people teach. Let me rephrase it. So once again, people who like or love my content, and what I'm talking about, like the little reactions. And people will ask, well, hey, do you thank them for liking? Do you say, thank you for liking? No, I don't follow up like that. I use a different strategy to follow up with those people. But for those people who actually comment and stuff like that. So for instance, those of you that are on this live, don't be surprised if I hop in message. Thank you so much for for joining me on this live. That's a follow-up. You can start there. That's a follow-up. It can start as something as simple as thanking them for interacting and engaging with your content. Or you can take it one step further. You'll see people that will have posts out there that will say, hey, drop an emoji or drop a particular word. And there are some of you guys that will use that strategy and then don't follow up with people. There are some of you guys, I remember one of my clients, I had to get onto it so bad because she had all these leads in her messenger that she wasn't following up with. So we had to get to the root of it because it wasn't like she didn't have leads coming in. She had leads. But once again, there was a fear that was rooted in there of her actually following up. And so her and I had to get to the root of that fear. Once we dug that root up, you guys, when I tell you the number of people that she now serves, where her business is now, absolutely amazing. But like I said, we had to get to the root of what was causing that inaction. But in order for me to get to the root of it, we had to work together first in order for us to get to that root. But once we got to the root, where she is now compared to where she was, complete night and day, complete 180-degree turn. By the way, you guys, it is 180 degrees. 180 degrees means the opposite. I'm just saying that's the math teacher in me. I'm sorry. So when people say I did a 360-degree turnaround, no, that means you are back in the same space. But I digress. But once again, where her business is now and where she was back then, because once again, we got to the root of that fear. And so you guys, I'm telling you, that follow-up for some of you guys, if you just engage with following up with people, incorporate it in your daily revenue generating activities that you do, incorporate it. Don't wait until Friday. Don't call it follow-up Fridays. I'm following up every day. And like I said, the way the follow-up looks, it looks different. It's not always, hey, here's the link, go schedule a call. That's not always what the follow-up looks like. I was talking to a young lady who's new to my Facebook group because I have a process. That I, when it comes to me having these conversations with people, especially a Messenger, leveraging Messenger, I have a process that I walk people through. And so based on me following up and having this conversation, Renee, I am so glad you are joining us in the 30-day challenge. And so through this process, I realized, you know what? She's not a good fit for my services. But I wouldn't have known that if I wouldn't have taken the time to follow up and have this conversation with her. And so I gave her some resources. Hey, I think this would be a better fit for you. Because once again, I only invite people to work with me that I feel like I can support. I only invite people to work with me that I feel like I can support. And so once again, with that one young lady, when I realized I could not support her in the capacity that she needed, I referred her out. I remember another young lady I was having a conversation with on LinkedIn. She was talking about she needed more speaking events, speaking engagements. I'm like, that's not me, but I can connect you with Rakita because that's not my lane. And so you guys, what I'm telling you, I would follow up with people, have those conversations with people. And so, like I said, these were just a couple of examples. I just used the example of people who engage with your content as a way of following up. That's just one example. There are so many other ways to follow up with people. That's why when I see people say, I do follow up Friday, I'm like, how in the world you do that all in one day? Follow up to me is a thing that you do on a daily basis, and it looks different depending upon where that person is in quote unquote that sales journey with you. Okay. All right. So you guys, like I said, I wanted to hop on here and have this conversation about these two statistics. Once again, there is fortune in the follow through. And that's what we were talking about earlier with that first bullet about it can take people up to 15 touch points. And then there's fortune in the follow up, which is what we were just talking about and how you can follow up with people. Like I said, some of you guys, and hear me when I say this, and when I say fortune, there's that financial fortune. So the fortune when it comes to the income, but also fortune in the impact. If you don't sell your services, how are you impacting the people? How are they receiving that level of transformation that they're supposed to receive? I've been saying this and it's been pressing in my spirit so heavily. Some of you guys are allowing people to stay in bondage, and it's not fair. You have the key to unlock that jail that they've been in for so long. And I'm always like, as Christians, how can we do that as Christians? How can we allow someone to remain in bondage as a Christian when you literally have the key that they need to unlock the bondage that they're in? As a Christian, how can you hold on to what it is that you have? How can you do that? That thing has been pressing in my spirit recently, and I'm like, God, and I'm asking God, God, if that's me, please show me. God, show me. Because I don't want to be that person that's causing someone to remain in bondage any second longer than they have to if I have the key to unlock it. So you guys, I'm telling you, if you have that key, please do not keep it from them. Okay? You guys, that's all that I have. That's all that I have for you guys today. So you guys, once again, my invitation for those of you, if you want to join us in the 30-day sales challenge, you see the clickable link somewhere above my head. Go ahead and click on that link. Also, those of you, and once again, I'm going to have a post that comes out of my group. There are some of you guys, you have to stop playing small. Point blank, period. You need to stop playing small. Some of you guys, your $5,000 services, your $2,500 services, there's a post that's ready to go out in the group, probably in about an hour, I think is where it's scheduled. Some of you guys need to start playing bigger. You need to start playing bigger. These $1,000 and $2,000 programs that you're offering, it's time for you to up the ante. It's time for you to up the ante. It's time for you to up the ante, period. Some of you guys are playing way too small. If you know that you are playing small, I need you to send me a message on whichever platform you're watching me on. I need you to send me a message. I need you to send me a message on whichever platform you are joining me on right now. You have to step up. It's time for you to unlock and allow for them to be released from that bondage that they're in. All right. So you guys, once again, that's all that I have for you guys. You guys, thank you so much for joining. Once again, if you have specific questions for me, feel free to reach out to me. I am more than happy to have a conversation with you about how I may be able to support you. Once again, some of you guys are going to be in your inbox anyway, just checking in and seeing what's going on. I am not going to lie my head down tonight and not be able to say, well, God, I did everything that I could, to be able to connect with the people that you have called for me to serve, period. All right. So you guys, I pray you have an absolutely amazing rest of your day. I'm so sad that you couldn't see my face today, but prayerfully my internet will be act right tomorrow. So that way I can have my video showing. But once again, those of you that are catching us on the replay, type in #replay, leave your questions, your comments, all that awesome stuff. You guys, thank you so much. And I will see you guys on the other side of this live. Take care.